know what we call this in the United States? God's ketchup, right there.
I've never heard that before. I think he just made it up.
Is this how the other half lives all the time?
One of those things just never happened.
When somebody rips one, you know it, and it's not yours.
It was like Bugs Bunny when you like smelled the carrot soup.
That is the most random thing. What are you talking about?
It's impossible.
The Overseason Podcast. Here we are recording, not live. This is a recorded event, but we're recording in Mandaluyong, in Manila, in the Philippines, at the Pod Network, and as
February 26th.
February
25. I got that right this time.
Good job. We are, as always, trying to get to the bottom of things for our restaurant brethren. And one thing that I've been really impressed by, Tony, in this travel and in all of the things that we've done over the last, I want to say even maybe last couple years, is how disciplined and steadfast you are in your physical training. You have done such a good job. I think there's not been one day that we've been together that you haven't gone for a run.
Yeah. True.
So tell me, what is it that goes through your mind to be able to even do this? Because one, I'm not a runner.
You've been right there the whole time.
I missed a couple days. I missed a couple days.
You did miss a couple days, yeah. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I've been counting. I've been counting how many days you lost.
How many has it been?
I think 3, maybe 4.
No, it's only 2 actually. Motherfucker.
You sure?
Already taking an extra day. This is how chefs are, right?
We do work the hardest, harder than anybody.
The front of the house is always not working, right?
Well,
so then one day off turns into 3 days off, turns into 4 days off.
Yeah.
Always the same. Anyway.
The trip isn't over yet.
Nothing's
You'll hit
changed.
4 days off. I'm sure of it.
No, I won't.
Okay.
No, I won't. What do you mean 4 days off? I only took 2 days off. Mm-hmm. I took off Sunday in Thailand, and I took off Monday in Thailand. I went every other day.
I'm not judging.
Yes, you are.
I'm just.
I see
you
in your
seem to be
eyes.
judging yourself on that.
Whatever. So, Tony, have you always been a runner?
No.
No,
not. I just find it's the easiest thing to do to like go mindless, and just kind of run for half an hour or so.
Does it feel meditative?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good time to just.
And you'll do a 5K essentially at every session, no?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing I do.
Okay.
Usually listen to a podcast. It's the time when you get to like not do work.
Yeah.
Just get to think about something else. Many times I won't even bring my phone. Or listen to something.
Will you listen to music or anything?
Occasionally, but what if I really just want to zone out? I'll just go for
it.
And then the steam room I do a lot just because I don't bring anything in there and just kind of do a little reset.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. It's interesting how different people react differently to different stimuli, because I thrive in a sauna where people are either talking, like today. We went to the gym. I want to brag.
I knew this was what this was leading to.
No,
you're asking me questions when you really want to tell
No.
your story.
No. You know what? Let me rephrase. I don't want to brag. Okay. What I want to do
is just let everybody know.
No, it's not about. It's just for me in the future.
We'll keep it there.
To know. No, but I need something.
Keep it for yourself. If you want. Or say, I'm going to brag a little bit.
You know what? Actually, that's exactly what the Overseason Podcast needs, is for me to keep everything to myself. That's exactly what people want, right? Somebody was saying that they wanted me to go deeper into poop talk. Now as the editor,
3 episodes without poop talk in Asia for even,
wow.
That was a big one.
We'll touch on Thailand soon. But anyway, but I've started to switch it up. I've been doing more cardio. I always been doing lifting stuff, and I've been doing cardio, and I've been doing the Stepmaster, which gets me. Is that what it's called, the Stepmaster?
Stairmaster.
One of those.
I don't know if that's a brand name.
The Stepper.
Yeah, the Stepper.
The Starer. Anyway, I got on that thing today, and it's the second time I've done 30 minutes at 60 steps, I guess is 1 a second. Obviously, it's the easiest one for me to remember. It's an easy setting. And dude, that thing fucking
it's
destroys you.
10 minutes for me on that is that's my max.
You know, I don't want to be like a bitch, but I am sometimes. And you're not supposed to when you're on like the treadmill or anything. They say you should avoid holding onto the rails because it makes it easier, of course. But I do it more than anything because, anyway, that's my next step is to not use it at all throughout the whole 30 minutes. And I saw a badass, like, he must have been in his 50s or 60s, Filipino guy, just crushing the Stepmaster the other day. And he was like ripped and he just looked so in charge. And he did that thing, maybe not as long as I did, but I was watching him.
Even he didn't do it for as long as you did.
I know.
Wow.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
No, but more than anything, I'm trying to keep myself 30 minutes at 60 means 100 and something
Sure.
You know what I mean? And now the next time we check in on this, I'm going to hope to be at 110 or something. You know, you got to incrementally grow.
Sure.
But so the whole point of this, Tony, is I have always been in disbelief, shock, and awe at the level of commitment that some restaurant owners and operators inflict upon their staff. And I know that, number one, working in the old school, which I think now the 90s is the old school.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to break it to the world at large listening. So if you grew up in the 90s and you...
Grew up in restaurants, you mean?
Grew up in restaurants, you know, working in restaurants in the 90s. And
my first job, I think, my first serious restaurant, like working at Oriole, was in 97, I believe.
In 1997?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I remember that because during restaurant week, we called them 97s because the menu is $19.97 for lunch, for a 3-course lunch.
Oh.
That's how restaurant week went. And then I think the 90s were the last time we could charge the year. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
And then it went up to like $25 or whatever it is now. I don't even know.
Hold on a second.
It's not my phone.
It's not my phone either.
Not my phone, not my problem.
Oh, it's the one in here. Okay.
Sorry. It's okay. It's that one. There's 3 phones in here. And mine. Hopefully mine doesn't ring. It's okay.
So you're saying in 1997 was, you know, that
was my first restaurant, like, you know, fine dining restaurant experience. That's after I graduated school and all that kind of stuff. So I started earlier, but that was the first real restaurant. That sounds wrong. That was my first like New York restaurant.
That was
lifestyle.
the first, let's call it, you could say serious restaurant, but what you could also say is took itself too seriously restaurant. Is that fair?
No.
Why? Because you caught yourself there. You said, that was my first serious restaurant. But are you trying to say that this Pub and Sub is not a serious restaurant?
Pub and Sub. But no, that was my first, that's what I think of as my first official entry into restaurants, I guess. No, I don't know. Because I worked in restaurants for years before that.
That's what I mean.
But then I went to school and then that was my first time I got a job at a place where I had only read about before.
Okay, so maybe that was the first time you had like a craft, like a culinary position and not a food service position. Maybe we can...
I don't know. I'm thinking about that because I definitely worked for years in restaurants before that.
What were the years before that?
But that wasn't in New York City.
Didn't you do like Friendlies and stuff like that?
No.
You never worked at Friendlies?
No, but once I put on a credit report that I worked for IHOP.
Oh, okay.
Or on some resume somewhere, I said my IHOP experience just because I was a teenager and
And it's followed you ever since?
It's still on my credit report. I don't know how it got there, but...
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd always... Anyway.
I didn't work for IHOP. My first job was at... a sandwich shop though. Port of Subs.
That's why I keep on saying
Baskin Robbins. They bought a Baskin Robbins.
Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
Okay. Friendlies, Baskin Robbins. I'm sorry, Tony.
Friendlies was more of like a neighborhood sit-down restaurant, right? Not
Friendlies.
Not fast food.
There were less. Baskin Robbins, of course, had the 31 flavors. Yeah. They also have shaved chocolate in their mint. Their chocolate mint, and which is delicious.
It's chocolate mint.
Right, but there's chocolate chip mint. but the first time I ever had the shaved, like, and I think they put a bunch of soy lecithin and like coconut oil, like whatever that dipping chocolate is, the delicious one that's super bad for your heart.
Oh, to like coat the top of that?
Yeah. I think it's that.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at Baskin Robbins.
I think they make it at the factory that way because it has the texture. It melts in your mouth the moment it touches your palate.
It's got a little crispness to it.
It's fucking the best.
It is good.
All right, so you worked at Baskin Robbins. I would say that's not a serious job.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
But this was my first job.
Okay.
I got it at Porta Subs. It was a sub shop.
Okay.
But it's a chain. I don't know if they have it on the East Coast. And then the owners bought the Baskin Robbins next door. So we kind of worked between both. We'd have to like change our polo shirts in between.
I wonder
pink
if,
one to a blue one.
I wonder if they saw you slathering mayo on a turkey sub and they were like, that man one day.
It was mayo mustard. They had a mayo mustard mix.
Mayo mustard?
Yeah.
They wouldn't call it Dijonnaise?
No. It was mayo mustard, I think.
Okay. And
I worked very hard at that job too. I was going to school at the time. I was a criminal justice major.
Whoa.
And that was my first restaurant job.
Okay.
I think wait a minute. I wasn't going to school at that time. I'm sorry. This is going way back.
Yeah.
I think I was 15 and a half or something that's when you could work. And I was making $3.75 an hour when it first began. And then I remember I got a raise to $4.25 and I was very happy.
That means you were crushing it.
Yeah.
It also means that you could also scoop and make sundaes. So
yeah.
Did you find yourself?
I graduated to the scooping.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Did you find yourself crushing food all the time? Like I remember my first so I never really had access to food because I was in the front of the house. I always was very jealous of watching back of the house cook and play with ingredients. And the best thing I got to do was like clear tables and fill waters and
make money.
Yeah, I mean, but I was always enthralled by the kitchen. You
just couldn't cut it there. So
No, you know what happened, dude?
What?
I applied. I actually did my first job at the Olive. I was a jack of all front of the house insignificance trades. So I did a little bar backing. I did mostly bussing, and then I did some hosting, right? And so
you're a natural host. Makes sense.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. But after leaving that job, I went to a local Italian seafood kind of restaurant, like a BYO, that was right by the newly opened Ritz movie theater, and they got in trouble. That's why I laughed. Originally, it was called the Bluegill Cafe, and they would name every dish after famous actors. And I laughed because I remember the day that they changed the menu because, like, I forget who was suing the restaurant, but it's like, you guys can't get over the fact that we're calling, grilled chicken with capers, sun-dried tomatoes, and white wine sauce the Al Pacino. Like, what's wrong with you guys?
Maybe they just didn't like the sandwich. Maybe they just wanted it to be a different sandwich that was their name. Like, what if you were like the tuna?
Me? The tuna?
I guess you would
I would
like
be
that.
very happy about that.
Well, if you were going to be named, if a sandwich was to be named after...
After me?
Yeah. Xavi Maria's Carena.
Okay.
What would it be?
What would it be?
What would it be?
Holy shit, dude. That's a
big
lot of
one.
pressure
I know.
on the
Well,
fucking
let's do it.
Let me take a deep breath here.
Just pretend you can eat bread. Pretend you don't have the gluten thing.
Okay. Fuck, this is hard.
Yeah.
It's especially hard because I want a sandwich, and I want all the sandwiches because. So let's start with, will it be hot or cold?
Okay.
I think that's an important distinction. No, there's only one.
All right.
There's only one Xavier Imanol Mariet Correna.
What do you... It's always a very difficult question when people ask, what's your favorite cuisine or what? Because it depends. It's situational. Like one you want in the summer, one you want in the winter, one you want
of course.
At a beach, another you want at a tavern,
Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So, I think the automatic response is you want to emulate. You want to emulate things that you love. And I already have a couple favorite sandwiches. One is the BLT at 4th Street.
Yeah.
I've talked about that a lot.
A lot.
The other is the Nemchua or Nemcha. I'm not exactly sure how to say it because Asian languages are very hard sometimes.
You're learning though this trip.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I like to say things
Kapong
the
krap.
right way. Kapong krap. I like salamat. I like to say the things the way they're meant to be said, even if they're few words.
Mm-hmm.
But Nem Chua, every time I go to the Vietnamese restaurant, to Ballet, which is the Vietnamese bakery on the corner of 6th and Washington in Philly, they don't have it on the menu anymore, but they used to have Nem Chua, or Nem Cha. Listen, Amy, so I have essentially a sister-in-law, I guess you'd call her, a stepsister, I don't know, one of these complicated family connections. She's Vietnamese. She'd know how to say it. If she heard me saying it now, she would be shuddering, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to
What's
fuck
on
up.
this sandwich?
So this is a beautiful banh mi. I don't know how to say banh mi either. Is it banh mi? Banh mi.
I still say pho.
I feel like you still say pho?
Yeah.
I think over all these years,
Every once in a while.
I've started saying pho,
Yeah.
right? Because it feels good because it's on the way to saying you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I'll just leave the out. But so banh mi, it's like,
Let's just get to the sandwich.
okay, the sandwich is nem chua, which is like, I think it could either be made from pork or from beef, but it's almost like a sausage that's cured. They put vermicelli noodles inside of it, tons of garlic, and imagine, this is like an interesting way to maybe conceptualize this. If morcilla, right, had a baby with like what's the pink one that the pink meat from Taylor ham?
Okay.
Like pork roll. If pork roll was like, had some noodles in it, and then they cure it instead of cooking it in this sausage. And when you go to most Vietnamese,
The noodles are in the sausage.
the noodles are like
Okay.
in the sausage and adds this really nice toothsome texture to it, like a little bit of a crunch almost. And so there are these tubes of nem chua, the sausage. It's pink from the curing salt, and it's got chilies, and it's got garlic, and it is so satisfying to me.
I don't think I've ever had that.
It's like a Vietnamese pork roll.
Why do you think they took it off the menu?
So they did this. So I think I was lucky enough to get to Ballet in years where it wasn't super guaylo. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When it was still very much a neighborhood Vietnamese bakery, and then I forget who told me about it, or maybe I stumbled upon it. But like in my Union Trust years, my move was to always go there. They have buy 5 get 6.
I remember that.
Yeah, and dude, so I remember one day I just tried it because it looked so cool. It was the nem chua, the sliced sausage, down a toasted baguette. I liked this one because they wouldn't put mayo on it. And for me, like, I love banh mi. I don't know how I'm going to say it. Banh mi. I love that it's so crunchy and so refreshing. So they did fish sauce and vinegar, all the pickled veggies, cilantro, jalapeno, and there was no mayo. So
that's the basic banh mi garnish, right?
Yes.
Just with different meat inside.
Yes, so it had this cold
Without
cut
mayo.
kind of meat, right? So this is all to say that to me it's one of the top 2 sandwiches in Philadelphia. Like everybody talks about Angelo's cheesesteaks, they're fucking great. Of course they are. Everybody talks about DeNick's roast pork, and Tiny's the fucking man. Miss you, Drew Shattuck, handsome man. Fantastic sandwich, of course. But I've never been as much a hot sandwich person personally because they can get messy. And there's something about a cold sandwich that to me is so refreshing,
Plus
so
you can buy
delicious.
6.
And
you can buy 6 and leave a few in the fridge, right?
there
like
you
a
go.
Pocket sandwich. Just carry it
It is a
around all
pocket
day.
sandwich. Now, our friend Quincy Logan, he's a cheesesteak connoisseur. He would always have a Jim's cheesesteak, which is also a great cheesesteak. Listen, there's so many great sandwiches. I also love the Italian beef.
Yeah.
I
I remember when we were working at that concept in Reno, Nevada. We tried to get, for the Italian roast beef, we tried to get the Vietnamese rolls.
Oh, right, because they were so crunchy. And
I thought they'd be perfect because they had that French influence in Vietnam, and that's where this came from.
And I think they put a little bit of rice in there.
It could be. I'm not sure, but I know that once we tried to dip them, they just fell apart. So it wouldn't work for that.
So we tried. I don't even remember this.
Yeah.
So if I were going to do a sandwich, Tony, I think I'd have to call on my Basque influence, and it would be a cold sandwich. And there is a place in the Basque Country called Bar Gorriti.
Wait,
right?
we've just gone from Vietnam to...
That's correct.
Okay, got it. So it's not the banh mi. All that talking and salivating and...
I'm salivating right now.
Belly
I'm
grumbling.
fucking hungry.
Well, that wasn't it, though. We're going on to something better.
It's not better.
I'm so surprised that it's something in the Basque land.
You're asking me what my sandwich would be, and I'm about to tell you.
It's taking a while.
I'm sorry. Okay. So there is a pincho, very famous. I have a tattoo of it called the Hilda, right? Now there's a bar called Bar Gorriti, which is right by La Brecha, which is the market.
Are you sure that's how you pronounce that one?
Bar Gorriti. Yep.
Okay.
And so they have this pincho called the Hilda in the Basque Country, and they do a variety of Hildas. So they do them with pickles and anchovy. So the classic is...
But it's not a...
manzanilla olive.
It's just a skewer.
It's a skewer, right? It's a pincho. The pincho is...
Right.
The skewer, right?
I'm just trying to get to the sandwich part.
All right. So the sandwich...
I'm just curious how this is going to turn into a sandwich.
It's okay. Yes. All right. So the Hilda classic is guindia pepper. So that's the...
long, green...
Yes.
Spicy?
I'd say out of a 5, it's a 3. I mean,
compared
out of a 10,
to a
it's a 3.
pepperoncini.
It's the same.
Okay.
Same spice, but I think more crunchy texture and
but pickled like that.
Pickled exactly like that. Yes. So pickled like vinegary, right? So the Hilda is that olive with anchovy, with a classic, not a white anchovy, but a classic anchovy. And then olive oil, right? So the one they make at Gorriti, which is incredible, is they do a head cheese, so like all like the cheeks and all that stuff, with a little bit.
Why do you think they call it head cheese? I never really got that.
Maybe because
it's just a terrine, right? For those that don't, it's a terrine of pork head meat.
Pork head meat.
They just boil the head, pull it all apart.
Yeah, reform it into a coagulated chunk.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because they were using the cheese mold.
I think it gets a bad rap because of the cheese part. People like head cheese. They should just rebrand that into terrine or something.
Fair enough. So head terrine. And so it's like the Basque one is slightly hit with a little bit of pimenton. So it's got like a nice, sweet, smoky. It's essentially ham, right? Let's think of this as ham. Yeah. So thin sliced ham. Then there is also some really thinly sliced, almost like a Basque style saucisson sec, but like more pork fatty. So it's like
not as more fat mixed into the farce.
Yes, more fat mixed into it. So it's almost like mortadella texture.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Right. So it's head cheese, this saucisson sec.
Mortadella, like it's emulsified.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
On the way to emulsification, exactly. Then it's got thinly sliced white onion. It's got olive. It's got the guindia peppers. It's hit with really good olive oil on top. And then they dip it into the vinegar from the pepper. So it's essentially...
nice, bright flavors, like
crunchy,
a little bit of spice.
Yes. That's what I would make my sandwich out of, and I would do it on a long, crisp flatbread. Now, it escapes me the name of this very famous sandwich spot in Firenze that makes these incredible sandwiches on like, it's not, let's just say...
ciabatta style?
It's almost like a ciabatta, but it's got more crunch on the outside.
Okay.
So it's focaccia without the oil.
Right.
It's almost like that.
And focaccia would be
super
kind
crisp.
of fluffy in a way.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
it's more shortened, the glutens. You know what I mean? So it's got a little bit more, a finer crumb to it.
Yeah.
So
So
the oil.
right, because the oil like brings it down, right?
Well,
Like,
it shortens the gluten strands so that you get like a finer crumb
see,
to it.
so that's not what I want.
Right.
I want super crunchy crust, and I want really fluffy sourdough, kind of big grains or big holes
Right.
inside. So that would be my sandwich. It would be the head cheese. It would be the saucisson sec. It would be the mortadella kind of slice. It'd be white onion. It would be the guindilla peppers, really good olive oil. I'd probably hit it with some fresh parsley, and this would be my Basque hoagie.
There you go. No cheese.
I don't think so.
Doesn't need. Well, I'm just. If it
Yeah,
doesn't need it,
no,
doesn't need it.
this thing doesn't have it, so I wouldn't do it. And I'm being inspired by. And the Hilda is called Hilda de Moros. That's the Moros is the Moors,
Right.
And I don't know. I have to find out more information about this. I've never seen this Hilda anywhere else.
So what is the Hilda again? Sorry.
So the classic Hilda is the olive,
Oh, that. Okay.
the guindilla
The
pepper,
pincho.
and then
So it's basically that on a sandwich in sandwich
so
form.
pulling it right off the skewer onto the sandwich.
Okay.
That would be my
Wait, I'm
the
confused
shabi.
now. So it has like the whole peppers.
It's the shot. I'm gonna actually it's got whole
I'll
peppers
just show
on
you
it.
tattoo. That's it.
Yeah.
It's got the peppers, olives, and then it's wrapped in each pepper is wrapped in
In anchovy.
anchovy. Okay,
That's
wait.
the classic Hilda.
So wait, what's on the sandwich?
So the sandwich is just all right. I'm gonna show it to you.
But wait,
Tony.
are we talking like a sandwich accompaniment with the Hilda, or is you take the skewer out and you between bread and that's on the sandwich?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
So there's anchovies on this as well. Let's just layer it up. You start with the bottom piece of bread.
I told
What's
you.
next?
I told you. All
You
right.
got to build that picture in my brain.
all right. So hold on. So I'm gonna show it to you so you can have a better.
No, I want to just tell me.
Okay. So the classic Hilda is with the boquerón, right?
It's
Or
not a
with
sandwich.
boquerón. It's not a sandwich.
It's not even close to approaching a sandwich. It's a skewer.
It's a skewer.
Okay.
That's correct. It's a skewer. So this skewer doesn't have any.
It's not a sandwich.
It still has olive.
Got it.
It still has.
I understand. I'm looking at the picture.
Right.
I'm
It
just.
just
How does this
doesn't
make
have
it onto the bread?
You fucking just.
Okay, so it's a Hilda between bread.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But not with anchovies.
not with anchovies because this is the Hilda de Moros, which
Without
is
anchovies. Okay.
without anchovies.
And then it has.
So. It's
Build it up.
It's head cheese. I'm gonna do okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna thinly
bread.
slice my bread.
Right.
I'm gonna toast it because I want it crunchy.
Like a little olive oil grill kind of a.
No,
Just
the
salamander.
outside, toasting the whole bread.
Okay.
It comes out right. Then I'm gonna slice it, and then I'm gonna hit it with really good olive oil, and I'm gonna hit it with fresh parsley.
Okay. Well, now we're adding parsley. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we're doing the head cheese.
Okay.
Right. We're doing the saucisson sec. Right.
Head cheese, saucisson sec.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're doing the Basque style mortadella, like the emulsified. So it's three meats, thin sliced,
Okay.
over top of the olive oil and the bread.
And the parsley.
And the parsley. Then I'm gonna do really thinly shaved white onion and the guindilla peppers, right? Put them right on top,
Whole guindillas.
whole ones, yes. And then I'm gonna hit that all with a bunch of olive oil, and I'll probably end up hitting that with a little bit of arugula,
Ooh.
and then putting that into a nice crisp top bread half, and that's it. That's my sandwich.
So no olives and no anchovies.
Oh, sorry, there is olives, but no anchovies. Sorry, there is olives.
Okay.
I want the olives. Thank you for reminding
Sliced down?
me. I think it's gonna be like a long flat friend.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
cutting them not into circles, but in like the long way.
I'm gonna cut it into a. You know what? If it's a long, those super crusty thin baguettes.
Okay.
That's how I'll do it. Just one long guy.
Sounds like an Italian sandwich, Basque style.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. Yeah. All right. So what's your sandwich?
You know, my go-to sandwich, the Levi's of my repertoire.
Okay.
is just, if I see a baguette, I'm buying it. I don't care what time of day it is.
Okay.
If it's there, I'm buying it. And then you have to eat it that day because it's not good the next day.
Okay.
So I'll often eat way too much of the sandwich whenever I happen to see a baguette. I can't pass it up. I just grab one out of the thing and go for it. Butter and French ham.
That's it?
That would be the go-to Levi. You said like you started with banh mi, so give me this one. It was like a long banh
okay.
mi,
These are
you
your
know.
favorites.
This is just my staple sandwich, but if
Okay.
I had one that I had to go to,
Let me talk to you real quick about
you had your
this sandwich. No. I'm asking you questions because you got to ask questions about my sandwich.
All right.
All right. So this is just your favorite sandwich. This is not the sandwich that would be named a Tony.
Correct.
Okay. Now your favorite sandwich. Is there a specific ham that you like on your jambon beurre?
I like French ham or Italian parmo cotto.
Okay, the prosciutto cotto.
Yeah, prosciutto cotto.
Okay, and how about the butter? Is there a specific type of butter you
Not
think
really.
works best?
Not really. I've gone
Room
with-
temp,
I'm
cold, grilled,
I like it coldish.
coldish.
You can like to slice it almost like cheese.
Oh,
Like
see,
lay
these
it
are
down
important details.
Yeah.
Do you season that with a little salt or anything? Or
No.
Or so do you use salted butter?
It depends. I'm not picky on the butter.
You're not picky on the
No,
butter.
I usually don't have salted butter in the house,
Okay.
so I'm not going to buy a whole thing of salted butter to.
But would you prefer cultured butter if you could have it?
Not necessarily. I
Okay.
don't tend to gravitate towards cultured butter.
Okay. All right. So that's
Uncultured butter.
uncultured.
I like the
like
gutter
the
bu-
like the
gutter
butter,
the gutter butter.
gutter butter.
Yeah.
Butter who's always been living in the same
Yeah,
area, not
exactly.
one who's traveled. Okay. Got it. This
And
is all
then
good.
my favorite sandwich, I have to say, we go to Pub and Sub a lot. It's remained the same since I was.
What's the pub and sub? Let everybody know.
It's a university sandwich wing pizza spot in Reno, Nevada, and that's kind of, if I'm telling the truth to myself, that's the number one is my favorite sandwich. It's got like the 5 Italian meats,
Okay.
prosciutto, capicolo,
Yep.
ham, all that stuff. That's my favorite. But when I think about we were talking about sandwiches, and I have not had this one in years, but when I was living in Paris,
yeah.
they'd have this sandwich called the grec frite, which is sandwich with
Kind of bread, like a baguette,
not like a baguette. It's like, I don't know what it would be called in French, but it's like a small loaf, like an individual sized sandwich roll.
okay, like a Kaiser-ish.
No, it was longer,
Okay. Okay.
not round.
In between a Kaiser and a baguette.
Not quite, but it'll come to me like what it would be
Like
called.
pan
it's a sandwich.
campagna kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like a small
yeah,
one.
Yeah, exactly
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
And that would be with like the lamb,
Okay. Oh, the shawarma
the
style.
shawarma lamb,
Okay.
super hot Dijon mustard, like
Ooh.
really hot, and the lamb, and then they just stuff it with French fries.
Like super crispy French fries.
It was so.
That's
good.
it.
And it was so
Was there any
inexpensive.
seasonings or anything on there? Like was
No,
there
you
like
got the seasoned lamb,
like
the
or
French
like
fries.
oregano or anything on the French fries or anything like that?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
So it was just like
it's just a street food,
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't super fancy, but
and it was called a
alone-
grec frite.
grec frite.
That sounds so good.
It was so good.
I'm so hungry right now.
I can't remember how much they cost at the time, but I don't know, 5 francs or whatever it was. And I would have one almost every day on my way back from work because it'd be open late on the street. You could just grab it.
So it
Oh
was.
my gosh! But then there's the German one.
What's the German one?
The German one that's
What, doner or something?
doner kebab. Oh,
And what's
That's
that
a hard.
one?
That's got like red cabbage in it. It's the more like the pita style bread. That's pressed.
Okay. Okay.
Doner kebab might be the best, and you can only get it in Berlin. For some reason, it's so difficult to replicate in the States.
Really?
Yeah, I can't seem to find a great one.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Just one of those. Sometimes food just works in a place, Are you going to get your Italian Basque sandwich anywhere else but there?
You can only get it at Shabby's. At Shabby's Sandwich Hut.
Shabby Sandwich Hut. There you
Yeah.
go.
Or we can call it Bosco's Home of Treats.
There you go.
I like that. Bosco's Home of Treats. So now that we know your sandwich influences, what are we calling the Tony? The Ayatsi, the lemon pepper buddy.
That's such a difficult question.
I know, you put me on the spot,
I
so
know,
it's
I
time
did.
for you to answer. It's time for you to pay the pauper.
I don't want to be boring and say that I would have a ham and butter sandwich. That can't be named after me.
Why not? Maybe you're a boring kind of guy.
I do like to make sandwiches with like This is true. All right, I'll own it.
Well, okay, but listen, you could certainly take some influences and craft.
I do like to also in my sandwiches at home, when I don't have everything that I want necessarily, but I get this olive relish.
Okay,
Like
like,
just-
like a jardinera-ish.
Yeah, jardinera. I always have like 6 cans of jardinera around.
Yep.
And I'll put that on any kind of sandwich. It turns that into a.
I know.
Tony
I love
sandwich.
jardinera. I absolutely love jardinera.
It's got that nice bite, the sweet, the hot, not sweet, but like the bracingness of the acid.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I'm frantically looking. I want you to see this Hilda, Tony. That's
I
why.
see the tattoo.
I know, but I want you to see
This
this.
is why I'm confused.
Hilda
It's
de
not in a
Moros.
sandwich. You're not going to show me a sandwich.
Oh, speaking of your Greg Friet, look what I just came upon.
There you go. Just shove that into a sandwich and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. How do you
Plus,
beat
when you're
that?
cooking and you're working in crazy conditions, you just
Yeah.
need as many calories as possible, as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Just grab that and go.
Well, what started out is how we were going to talk about being disciplined people. We turned into a sandwich. We turned into a sandwich
The way it
conversation.
goes. This is what I think about when I'm running.
Okay, so hold on. So my sandwich, the Vasco. What's my sandwich gonna be called?
I don't know, I'll think about it.
The
The Basketalian. We'll come up with something. We got to make it.
Yeah, I know. I want to make it. And then so what is your final sandwich? Would you, let me ask this as we're workshopping this, would you consider, because I know you're a turkey guy too. You love a turkey sandwich.
It's
No,
not
more
my-
of a ham guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my favorite.
So let's say you were doing Parisian ham, right? Which is kind of like a cooked ham, right?
Yeah.
And it's not
It's
super
usually kind of
flavorful
like
or
from the
salted.
whole eggs, so it's not all like a tumbled ham like we get.
Yeah.
Which I love too.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole leg
Okay, so it's a
Right.
whole egg.
that's cooked somehow, and it usually has some kind of spices around it, rosemary or something like that, so you get a little bit of a ring.
A
with
little
those.
Provence.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at a beautiful Provence herbed ham, right? And then we're gonna put this on a baguette because you already said. I mean, is baguette your is that your sandwich bread?
Yeah, that's my jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a baguette. We're gonna cut that fucker open. Is that baguette toasted, or do you like that baguette?
No, if it's just if it's fresh,
Nice
it's got the
fresh
perfect
baguette.
texture.
Some herbe de Provence, Parisian ham. We're gonna put some chunks, not spread, but chunks, sliced butter on it.
I remember the first time I went to Germany and they put cheese and butter on a sandwich. I was so aghast. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Really? Oh,
That's crazy.
Because that for you takes the place of.
Well, it was a teenager. You know, I'm like, "What is this weird thing having butter and cheese on a sandwich?"
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
And then finally, will you garnish said sandwich with anything? Is it already just
Dijon.
will you put that super hot Dijon on there?
Oh, that like fireman.
This is yours. This is your sandwich, Tony.
I will not. I'll go for a standard, like nice spicy Dijon for sure.
Got it. Like
Yeah.
a Mai,
but not the
or
super hot one.
not the Pommery.
Right.
Okay.
Well, not the Pommery. They have a special like fireman's mustard or something that's ridiculously hot.
Okay, so we're not going there.
No, that's a little too much. But I will, from time to time.
Would you like some chopped jardinera or anything on there? Or
Sometimes if it's around, I'll put a little on there.
okay,
Yeah, why not?
this is your sandwich. God damn it!
Yeah, I know. I put jardinera on a lot of stuff all the time.
You can't. So here's the thing: is you can't just put. You can't. I mean, maybe you can. Maybe you can.
But if I could eat a pub and sub sandwich every day, I would do that.
you would eat a pub and sub sandwich every day. Okay, so final answer: the Tony. So do you have jardinera on there? Do you have olive tapenade on there?
On what? The pub and sub sandwich?
On your sandwich?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Sometimes tapenade. I like to do
herbe
that.
de Provence ham. Nice slices of butter. Some jardinera. Olive oil?
No jardinera.
Just olives?
Okay, I'm going to come back to it. I'm just going to be boring.
Okay.
Parisian ham, butter, baguette. That's it.
Parisian ham,
I could eat
butter,
that every day.
baguette. I like it. Listen, I mean, maybe
When I'm home alone, like I don't really. You cook for yourself more often. I feel like
I do.
You
I
cook for yourself.
I like to cook.
I make a sandwich.
You make a sandwich.
If I'm not cooking for other people, if other people aren't around, I will very easily eat a sandwich every day.
I feel like Tony, when I open Savi's House of Treats, I'm gonna make the Tony. But I think what I'm gonna do for you, just because you're a special guy that deserves a special sandwich, I'm gonna do baguette, just like you asked, super fresh, crusty and crisp. The Parisian ham with the herbs, right, on the outside. I'm going to, just because you got more spice to you than people realize, and I believe that you're a refined kind of spice as a person. I'm putting a little bit of Espelette in the butter.
Yeah, I can give it that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then to finish it off, if you want the Tony, that's the Tony, right? Espelette butter, herb de Provence, jambon, super crusty bread. But if you're like on the inside, you know there's a Tony special. My mouth's fucking watering. You know there's a Tony special, and that's your jambon beurre, but it's gonna be stuffed with olive oil French fries.
Okay.
So you can fucking smash it together.
It can't be baguette then.
And why not?
Because they won't fit.
We're gonna make it fit.
They won't fit on a baguette. That's the
going.
thing.
Listen, we're gonna make it fit.
All right.
I bet you can't wait to try this.
Let's do it.
I can't.
I'm
wait
down
to
to try it.
I am so hungry. All right. So anyway, now I feel like just even having that conversation.
Now
It's
we gotta
time
go
for a run. Yeah, it's time for a run. Do you have any foods, Tony, that you're really looking for? Now that we've kind of talked about our sandwiches and avoided all topics about healthy lifestyle.
It's hard to not,
Fasting is
diverted.
really fucking, it fucks with you. It fucks with me because what ends up happening is instead of eating and then moving on with my day, now I am constantly thinking about food. All I do is think about food. Food and food. And
it tends to happen to people in our, with our backgrounds. This is why we got into food.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's just another compulsion. But all right. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you about your sandwich.
I think why we might be talking about sandwiches so much and why we went on that tributary for so long.
Okay.
That became its own river. Is because we've been in Asia for going on 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've been in Asia for 2 weeks.
And it's not really a sandwich place.
It's far from it.
Far from it, except for the banh mi, right?
Right, but we wouldn't go to Vietnam.
We didn't go to Vietnam. No. So we haven't had some of those comfort foods for a while that, we can just grab from our refrigerators.
So what are you going to have?
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, I already have. I know one of the first things I'm making.
You do? Well, go for it. I'm boring. It's like I could really love a burger.
You're not boring, Tony. You know what it is? They say that sophistication. I don't know who said this, who they is. It might be Leonardo da Vinci.
This last night.
Is it? You did?
Yeah, I did.
What is it?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Oh, you told me this. I got it. It's either Tony Iazzi that said this or it's Leonardo da Vinci. One of those two. Yeah. Right. Said that simplicity is the ultimate sign of sophistication. Right?
The turtle, right? The turtle guy?
The turtle guy?
Leonardo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The turtle guy. So, I think the fact that your sandwich is so elegant and allows you to focus on specific things, I think that's beautiful.
Cool.
I think that's beautiful.
I'll take it.
But that said, so you're gonna go on classic. Are you dying for a burger right now?
I am, because we had that after Thailand when we just wanted to go, and we just weren't. We had so many spices and so many different dishes. We're like, let's just go get a steak. And we went to a steakhouse. Yes. Well, no, we went to a hotel.
We went to a hotel rooftop. That was a really cool, beautiful hotel rooftop.
And then we decided to get the porterhouse. Well, we were going to get burgers, but as you do, you tend to gravitate towards the porterhouse.
We weren't going to get burgers. We were going to keep it light, and we were also going to.
And then we got a porterhouse.
Have some shellfish, and then so we got some shrimp cocktail. We wanted just simple flavors because we had onslaught. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I love Thai food. I have a brand new appreciation for it, and I can't wait to have some and start making some Thai food when I go home.
So
But-
instead of the light meal, you decided to order the porterhouse. We did. We both did.
Well,
And we got it. And it was a beautiful looking piece of meat, but it was rare. Rare.
it was blue.
Yeah, it was blue.
It was blue.
And it just kind of, from some of your past experiences,
Yeah,
with
what's
porterhouse,
new,
you're like, it's like
actually.
you get like 1 in 5. So
Yeah.
we've kind of made the commitment to only get porterhouses at steakhouses.
yeah,
from now
moving
on.
forward.
And just like do it where they do it right, and not because it's a big bill. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. I think what inspired getting the porterhouse was that we were fucking starving.
Yeah.
Let's start there. We had a couple drinks, so that always inspires a little extra.
Mm-hmm.
And then this place had a bunch of beautiful Australian Wagyu. They had tomahawks and they had strip steaks and they had all this stuff. And
It wasn't in a restaurant though, so we couldn't really get the feel of it. It was just on the rooftop bar.
It was in the rooftop bar, but I think it was attached to a steakhouse.
Oh yeah, but we weren't sitting in the steakhouse. is what I
correct.
mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So and it was a hotel, so they can they do a little bit of a wide range of things for their clientele.
Agreed.
But then we're kind of gnawing on this raw beef.
You know what was great there, though?
The
Caesar salad.
Caesar salad? Yeah, it was.
The Caesar salad was excellent. They did a really, really good job with their Caesar salad.
If a hotel should do anything well, it's a Caesar salad.
Yeah, I agree. You have to do a good Caesar salad.
So we just decided that next time this happens, if it happens again, we will send it back and just say or order it medium. Because then we can at least finish it.
Yeah, it was. So this steak comes out and it was blue.
Yeah.
And look,
And thick. It was like
that's
a thick
that's
blue.
the thing.
Yeah.
If it was blue and it was filet mignon, or it was blue and it was like a 10-ounce strip steak,
right.
then it's easier to muckle it down.
Right.
This was a hunk. It was like 1.5 kilos monster, and it was just it didn't hit the spot. It wasn't rendered down. It had a little bit of sear on the outside, but
Yeah.
that's part of the fun, is like the char of the steak.
Agreed.
And so I think that's your way of saying that you're really looking forward to a burger.
I am.
Are you going to make it? Or are you going to go somewhere to
I
get
never
it?
make burgers ever.
You never make burgers?
I mean, maybe at a large barbecue kind of thing where I just get patties from them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like a lunchtime. There's
Yeah.
other things going on the grill, but I'll never cook myself burgers for dinner ever.
So where are you going to go?
There's a place down the street. They do this Melzinga bar.
Melzinga?
Melzinga is the name of it, and they do a burger with like goat cheese caper kind of a
Fancy
cheese on it.
fucking burger.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's feta caper, but they kind of like whipped feta and capers on it. It's really good.
Is it a lamb burger? It sounds like it could be a lamb
No,
burger.
but it could be a lamb burger for sure.
Gosh, man. I'm looking through pictures.
So I leave tomorrow, and I leave tomorrow, which is Thursday. I think I'll be back on next Monday or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever the day
It's
is.
a 30-hour trip on the way
Yeah.
back, so I'll have a lot of time to think about what exactly I want to have when I arrive.
I am personally, you bring up making sandwiches, which I think is like your go-to, like kind of classic comfort food. I'm dying for just really good fried eggs. And everywhere I ask for fried eggs, they don't know how to make them here. They don't know how to make them anywhere.
In your
The
style,
eggs
where
that
you
I
like to
want.
like
So-
swimming in a sea of olive oil,
Swimming in a sea of olive oil.
a hot lava,
Super
avalanche
hot
of-
olive oil, dropping your eggs in so that they
bubble
get
up all around.
they bubble up on the outside and get super crunchy. The center still has to be running like a yolk, and I like to just break open the yolk and then like drip it on the edge of the crispy bits and hit that motherfucker with Maldon salt.
Yeah, it's good.
I
just got a big tub of Maldon salt. I went for the big. I have like the
I
nice,
saw that.
massive tub. Yeah.
The real one, the forever Maldon. So anyway, I'm super excited just to make my own eggs.
How long are you here for?
So I'll be here until Monday, and then I I think I'm gonna make a little pit stop. I'm gonna have to do a layover because you can't fly direct really, and I think the move is gonna be to visit some friends in Philly. There is a sashimi extravaganza. It is honestly, it feels like. Can you imagine if you were allowed to open a restaurant but you didn't have to make money?
No.
No. Okay, so imagine this. This is the setting. It's a Korean.
I can imagine it.
Well, so there's a Korean restaurant that does this sashimi tasting. I think it's called Cerebral.
In Philly.
It's in Philly. It's in Northeast Philly. I think it's in Jenkintown. And I was invited by Ronnie, and we went like to this. So it's not what you'd think because it's a Korean restaurant, but they do this sashimi tasting, and it's like a deep fucking like it's a kaleidoscope. It is a deep dive into all the different fish that you could ever want in a sashimi tasting. And dude, it is chutoro, normal toro. They do like sea cucumbers. They do squirt.
You're gonna leave. They do what?
Squirt.
What is that?
I think it's called. It's like a It's like, imagine if a clam. What they look like little like seahorse. No, they don't. Okay, a squirt. A sea squirt.
It was my favorite drink, by the way. That was my favorite soda when I was growing up.
Oh, really?
It's like a grapefruit.
So
sips.
it looks like a hermit crab shell, but then they pull this meat out of it that looks something like if it looks
a hermit crab shell.
How
big is it?
Yeah, like a hermit crab shell. It's probably like a
crabs
baby's
are,
fist.
like, pretty
you know,
large, I think. But this okay.
A baby's fist.
Okay.
And so yeah, it's like the same size as a hermit crab, but they pull this meat out.
I thought hermit crabs were large.
I think they can get pretty big, dude. But like a pet hermit crab is not a 4-pounder. It's like a 4-ouncer.
Once they get past that, you can't have them as pets anymore. You have to flush them down the toilet.
Is that like the rule?
Then they live in the sewer.
For real?
Yeah.
This is what, like the Ayazi household rule, or is this like general New York knowledge?
That's just what they do with the alligators.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if there is alligators on there. But anyway, it is, dude. So they bring salmon out. They bring out hamachi. They bring out scallops.
So you're leaving Asia to go to a sashimi tasting. I
Well,
just want to
here's
get that because I know you're gonna have a layover.
well,
in
of course.
Tokyo.
No. So I don't.
You're gonna have a layover in Tokyo, right? And that one of your favorite sushi spots is there in the airport.
That's true, but
Or
I
not favorite,
think
but
I
really
think this flight is going to be Manila, Hong Kong, LA, Philly.
Okay.
And it was a lot less expensive than flying any other airline, honestly.
Cool.
So it looks like that's going to be the flight path. And don't worry. You know what? When I land in Philly, there's I have 2 things I need to feel like I'm grounded in Philadelphia. I go right to the Italian market. I go right to Claudio's. Claudio's has this like scungili, calamari, olive oil, like that seafood salad they do with shrimp and scallops and mussels and shit. Dude, I will go straight there.
Okay.
Those will be the first calories that I
usually
consume.
take Emirates back. I go back on Emirates, which kind of, it's nice to Korean Air has an amazing bibimbap on their plane. It's so good. But on the way back, you get this nice meze platter, which is a nice departure from...
on the Emirates?
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's really good.
So it's like the classics, like falafel and
Yeah,
pita
all that
and
stuff.
hummus and baba ganoush.
It's amazing. And it's really, really good.
That's nice.
So I'll get that. I'll be able to scratch that itch on the flight because I gravitate towards that food in general.
I know you love that stuff.
So I'll be able to get that so I can just go straight towards the Americana food. I'm not going to leave Asia to go have...
Well, dude, the
sushi.
thing about this experience,
the fish are gonna be like on the plane with you, probably.
that'd be so funny. So the thing that's really interesting about this tasting, dude, is so Ronnie, the first time that we went, was like, dude, you've never seen so much sashimi in your life.
So it's like a once a year thing?
So I think they do like these special tastings on Friday, and it's
Okay.
this one guy. So it's a Korean restaurant, right? They do galbi, and they do all the different like grilled meats. They do kimchi and all that stuff, the banchan. But I think once a week they do a special sashimi tasting, which I guess would be Korean style sashimi.
Interesting.
I don't know. But dude, so the amount of fish that comes out, like, so they brought this boat out, right, for like 6 of us. And I'm like, dude, that's a lot. And like, I'm like doing my best to contribute to the hammering down of the sashimi. And it's everything, dude. It's a boat. And it's like way too much of everything. Uh-huh. It feels gross. You know what I mean? It's almost like the 7 deadly sins. It's I can't even describe it. Like, you know how like you get sashimi toro and it's like 2 ounces thinly sliced across like a plate, and they'll maybe hit it with like some chives, and they're like, here's your toro. Bro, this was like a pound of toro in like big, thick, obnoxious slices.
It's hard for me to do that. I could use like a few pieces, but at a certain point,
it's a lot.
My growing up in the desert brain kicks in and be like, too much raw fish.
Got it. I'm gonna bring my own nori to this one, like nori,
fancy,
so that I can, because dude, it's a lot of raw fish to eat otherwise.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring that. But so they brought this thing out, and that was just the first round. Then they bring oysters, then they bring shrimp. Then they bring the sea squirts. Then they bring razor clams. Dude, it is an endless feast. And I think it's $100 a head. In just toro, and I'm not even joking, in just toro, we ate more than the food cost that they were charging us for. And I started thinking to myself, like, is this a cover-up for something? Like, are they trying to fuck up the food cost? Like, how is this possible?
Right.
And it's a spectacle beyond it being, I mean, there's obviously lots of delicious bites, but it's almost hysterical, right? It feels wrong. It is opulence beyond the opulence. It's like using Petrus for sangria. It's like that kind of thing where you're like, this is disgusting, but I can't stop watching.
Right.
And when I was invited, I'm like, I don't know. I want to see how bad. Like, I want to confirm that the original experience I had, which felt,
how long ago was that?
Wasteful. That was like a year ago.
Hey, you got to get that tuna while it's still around.
That's true. So that's what I'm going back to. But on the way, I'll have some Jewish deli. I will have some Claudio's seafood salad. I will have fried eggs in wonderful olive oil. And I will definitely reset my palate. Before you know it, I will be doing a bunch of Thai marinades, because I am 100% so excited to bring all of the flavors that I experienced.
Somewhere in there is a little Stairmaster too, just to bring it back. But
yeah, exactly. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe there's 31 minutes of Stairmaster with my name on it coming up. But looking forward to it. Tony, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining the Overseason podcast.
Oh, you're welcome.
You can watch this podcast on YouTube. You can check it out wherever you listen to your podcasts. And there's also TV episodes that we're releasing if you want to learn about all the antics we're up to around the world.
Right on.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Do the smack.
Overseason podcast was brought to you by Over Easy Office, outsourced bookkeeping solution.